It's 9 o'clock on a Thursday, and the regular crowd shuffles in for another edition of Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. A little later on in the program, we'll have our monthly conversation with Decorah City Manager Travis Goedken. We will also have a chance to chat with a couple of Decorah residents. Will be heading west for the NCAA Division III Men's Golf Championships next week. It'll be Scott Fjestul, the head men's golf coach at Luther, and also the young man, his son, who ended up being the American Rivers Conference MVP and is heading to the national championships for the third time in his career, and that is Jay Fjestul. And we're going to kick off the program talking about an event coming up tomorrow night at the McKee County Fairgrounds in Waukon. A lot of music, a lot of fun, and fundraising for the Veterans Memorial Hospital Foundation coming up tomorrow night. Bandmates, brothers, and friends and the Toe Tappers will be performing, and Bill Withers will tell us all about the event, and that will begin our show. Bill Withers bats leadoff. He's a baseball guy. He'd appreciate the analogy. He will get us going on Our Town. And it's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Having a conversation this morning with Bill Withers, and he is here to discuss a special event that will be taking place Friday night, a fundraiser for Veterans Memorial Healthcare in Waukon, the Veterans Memorial Healthcare Foundation. Bill is a part of the Bandmates, Brothers, and Friends group. And Bill, obviously, you've been around quite a bit in your travels professionally, but you're a Waukon native. And what motivates you to give back to the community which you grew up in?
Yeah, it's a great question, Darren. By the way, it's great to be around you again. You and I have known each other for years, and I know your lovely wife, and so appreciate the opportunity. So thank you for that. This actually started, this goes back over 40 years. There was a group of 12 of us musicians from Northeast Iowa that played together in a variation of 4 different bands. One of our band members of the 12 sadly passed away a little over a decade ago. The last time we were all in the room together would have been his funeral and services in the Schutte Funeral Home in Postville, Iowa. And after that, we often talked about what would it be like if we ever did a reunion to get the guys, all of them, 11 of the 12 back together. And so my brothers and I talked about it because my brothers Jim and John are in that configuration. And we thought we'd try it. But we didn't want to just have a reunion and have family and friends come. We wanted it to be something that the community could support. Our father, Bill Sr., I'm Bill Jr., has been in family practice medicine in Waukon and Decorah and Prairie du Chien and Monona for many, many years. Let's do something in healthcare. And so my dad's 90. My mom is long since gone. And we boys decided, let's do a reunion that benefits healthcare in rural Northeast Iowa, where you most need it. And that was the genesis of the deal, Darren.
And what exactly will this event raise funds for?
Oh, great question. Last year, this is our second annual. Last year, we didn't have a target. So we asked the hospital and the foundation board, is there something that you all need? And there is a new technology that dispenses medication absolutely exact to the patient's needs as recorded in their records and with doctor's orders. So imagine coming into the emergency room at in Waukon at Veterans Memorial Hospital, at the county hospital there, and you need something, but you're in trauma. This new technology that they're going to invest in will dispense the meds, have it connect to your records, your provider's background, and all of it's done to the letter, no errors. So that's what they're going to use some of these funds for, kind of state-of-the-art technology in rural healthcare. And that's their business. We're just going to try and remember as many songs as we can, Darren, and let them do what they want with whatever we can raise graciously.
And you mentioned you got together and did this last year. How much fun was that for you, and how much motivation did that provide you to do it again and do it even more importantly for a great cause?
Yeah, good question. That was the tipping point. We decided to do this downtown walk-on, see what would happen. Hospital Foundation board members staffed it. It was in a little bar with a dance hall and reception area in the back. And Darren, 400 people showed up.
Wow.
400 people. Don't tell the local fire department, but we were way over code. And so they all had a blast. And we raised, I think, somewhere around $9,000 in cash. They just like, this is fun, it's free. Let's help healthcare. Obviously, you know what's going to happen. Let's see if we can do it again, but we need more space. What's that line on Jaws? I think we're going to need a bigger boat. So that's what happened. And we moved it up to the Alma County Fairgrounds. They have a big pavilion up there, and we're going to see if we can scale it up.
And not only do people get entertained by bandmates, brothers, and friends, 50th anniversary of the Toe Tappers. You backed that up with your reunion. The second time you've done that, you put the 50th anniversary of the Toe Tappers. Folks are going to be in for a pretty good evening of musical entertainment tomorrow night.
Yeah. And so I want to be really clear with you and your audience about how this is going to work. Doors open at 5. Everything's free, by the way. You can come in, though, cash food, cash beverages of your choice, whatever you want to do. But at 6 p.m. to 7:30 will be the Toe Tappers. And anybody that knows music for the last 50 years knows those will be kind of legendary musicians doing some of that older type stuff. And they want people to come and dance. So we've designed the pavilion so people can come and do a good old-fashioned barn dance to the Toe Tappers starting at 6. Doors open at 5. We'll take a short break. There will be another iteration of Bandmates, Brothers, and Friends that does a next kind of era of country music. And we'll take a short break, and then a third and final set later in the evening when people are kind of out wanting to prowl around town. And a few of us are going to, we'll try to raise the roof a little bit.
Sounds like a fun time, and it looks like there's going to be plenty of food and beverage options, and it looks like you've gotten some pretty good support from local businesses for this event.
It's been crazy. The one thing we did not have last year was local restaurants and bars and whatever. Did they want to participate? We just didn't know because we didn't know how it would go. This year, there's a number of people that are going to provide food and beverages and snacks and all that kind of stuff. And I just got pictures. It's funny. I just got pictures on my mobile phone today. The pavilion is completely decorated. So there are tables, chairs, staging. The bar is stocked. They're going to bring food in from some of the local area restaurants. We're expecting a great night on Friday night.
And again, going for a great cause, everything like that. And I guess, again, give us, I guess, the final who, what, where, when, and why about the event tomorrow night. And anything we're missing, anything else you want to add on, as long as you got the forum here this morning.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. This will be Friday night, Alma County Fairgrounds, 6 to 11. Doors open at 5. You can come up and have supper, do whatever. In fact, when the food runs out, which I think it will happen, we have an arrangement with a local provider to start bringing pizzas and stuff up. And so you can come up and make a night of it. Toe Tappers at 6, 7:45, probably another iteration of a band that is kind of Bandmates, Brothers, and Friends, next generation of music. And then toward the end of the evening, we're going to do some really good old-time classic 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll. They'll be able to sing along, have fun, and dance. And we'll shut it down at about 11. Although last year, Darren, when we closed it down, believe it or not, someone walked up and said, I will give $1,000 to the foundation if you will play 30 minutes more and let this community dance. And so we did. So I will throw down and dare somebody to come up and do that. It's all for a good cause. I've got people coming in, Darren, from Florida, Wisconsin, the Bandmate Brothers and Friends group, 11 guys from all over. And we're all going to do it for a good cause and a benefit for the community. So we invite people to come out and enjoy it.
And I know, knowing you, you are going to enjoy it, and that's going to be a fun part of the evening. Bill, thanks for taking the time to preview the event coming up tomorrow night. I know you will have fun. Best part about it, you can go out and have supper, and any calories you consume, you can wear those off by dancing, right?
Absolutely. You might, yeah. The toe tappers love dancers. So come out, you work it early, get out and take a little break, then come back in too. People can come and go as they please.
Bill, thanks for the time, and thanks for your commitment to improving healthcare in Northeast Iowa.
You bet, Darren. Privilege for me to be on with you.
Bill Withers, he's a part of Bandmates Brothers and Friends. It's going to take place as part of a fundraising event for the Veterans Memorial Healthcare Foundation tomorrow night at the Almaquee County Fairgrounds Pavilion. Toe Tapper is also going to be performing 6 until 11 tomorrow night. Be there. For the third consecutive year, the Luther College men's golf team is heading to the NCAA Division III Golf Championships, and with us to discuss it, the American Rivers Conference Coach of the Year, Scott Fjestul, and Scott's son, Jay Fjestul, who was the conference MVP by winning the American Rivers Conference tournament last week in West Des Moines. And Scott, I'll start with you, and I'll ask Jay the same question. What has made this a special group? What has made this a successful group?
They're very good. They're very successful because they work very hard. The team is comprised of great young men from great families, but they're very hard workers, and they keep striving to get a little bit better every day. And that's all I can ask for.
And Jay, same question to you.
I love my teammates more than anything, and it's just really cool. We all have a lot of experience, and so I think it's just really cool that we just all trust each other, and we can just go out and compete and try to win a common goal of win a conference championship.
And Scott, going into last weekend at the conference tournament down at the Glen Oaks Country Club, I know day number one, you guys were in second place, but you seemingly were pretty steady with your rounds day in and day out. What was the key to having success last weekend in West Des Moines?
Well, we're a very experienced team. 4 of the players played on this championship team last year, 3 from 2 years ago. So that's a lot of tournament experience. And a 3-day tournament is a long tournament. So you just keep your head down and stay focused, one hole, one shot at a time. And we knew it was going to be a long tournament. So we got started okay, but we kept getting better every single day and played really, really well in the final round.
And Jay, how do you keep yourself mentally into it, playing the 54 holes in 3 days?
The biggest thing, like we talk about it all year in every single tournament, and Coach and I talk about it all the time, that we just have to focus on one shot at a time. That it's really easy for us to try for our minds to get wayward and try to think about hopefully winning, but that just doesn't matter. And so we really just have to focus on the present moment.
And Scott, obviously this program has had a good amount of success over the years, but you look at this 3-year stretch you're on. First time ever you've won the conference 3 straight years, going to nationals 3 straight years. What has this particular group been able to do to take this program to another level?
Well, they're great young men. They're very good golfers. They work very hard. But I think with any team in any sport, success builds upon more success and guides you down that road because you've done it before and you're confident in the work you put in and confident in your process. And we talk a lot about the process every day and getting better. But we're very experienced, and that really helps us.
And Jay, would you say the previous success that you have had, not only individually but team-wise, has that just made you that much more hungry to take things to another level?
I think so, because we know that we have a target on our back, being back-to-back champs before this year, and so we knew that every other team in the conference was out to get us, and they wanted us. And it was tough because we really it was one of those seasons where we didn't play our best golf for pretty much the whole year. And so we were just kind of waiting for the right time. We were just trying to keep sticking to our process and keep improving every single week. And so I'm just so proud of the guys that we stuck it out and really grinded through it this past week.
And college golf, Scott, is an interesting sport. You do a little bit of work in the fall season, and then you have the real season, if you will, in the spring season. How do you balance trying to get better in the fall, taking a few months off from actually getting out on the course, even though Mother Nature probably would have allowed you to this winter? But how do you balance that fall season, the improvements there, a few months off, and then getting into the swing of things, if you will, come spring?
We're fortunate we're one of the few sports that have both a fall and spring season. It's fun to start in the fall with the excitement of the new year, and the guys have played and practiced a lot all summer and are so-called tournament tough, and they're ready to go. We play 5 tournaments in the fall, and then you take the break of the winter. They're good students, and so they do well in their classes, obviously. But we've got a very nice indoor practice facility in the Region Center that we can practice in all winter long. And then they're very determined and hungry come spring break time in March when we start our spring season. So it just keeps building and getting better.
And Jay, is it a cool thing to be able to compete in your sport in 2 really semesters of a season, as Scott just talked about?
I think it is super, super cool. So we, like Coach said, we're just really lucky to just have the opportunity to play. And so we play about almost 10 tournaments a year. And so it's really, really fun. We just get a lot of experience, and we just get to try to show the skills that we have. And so it's really special. And then the seasons are very different in both times, but it's a lot of fun. We're just always so happy to play tournaments whenever we can.
Now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Scott, Jay and I talked about this when I saw him in Waverly last week. Look at your golf career. Jay wins a conference title last week. I don't think you ever won it on the college level, but at the high school level, you had a little bit more success than Jay. Who has the family bragging rights? Your thoughts, Coach?
No doubt, Jay. Very simple. I was fortunate to play well in high school and had success. We were both conference champions in high school. So that's fun for our family, but now Jay is a conference champion in college golf. My father, his grandpa, was Iowa Conference champion in the 1950s, so he follows his grandpa. And Jay was named an All-American last year. So that's way above the level I attained when I played and carried a Luther bag.
Well, based on that answer, I'll have to ask you this way, Jay. Would you have gotten there without your old man?
He's been with me the whole every step of the way, and so I definitely would not have gotten there without him. And so I wish that he'd be playing a little bit better right now, so we'd have a little bit more competition against each other. But I just have to give him a lot of strokes. But no, it's super, super special. And like sometimes I think about it, like what would happen if I ever went to a different school, and I can't imagine. I think coaches helped transform my game, and personally, it just has gone to another level because of him. And so I'm so grateful, and it's I've been super fortunate to have him as my coach for my whole life, and especially in college as well too.
And just piggybacking on that, Scott, how special has it to not only go through this success for your team, but doing it as a family, like you've had the ability to do the last 3 years?
I'm blessed. I'm very happy and excited about my team. I consider all the guys on the team sons of mine. We're very close. We have a lot of fun together. Our other son, John, is the #1 assistant coach. He's team motivator, and everybody loves John. And Ann is team mom. And so she has her role to kind of manage things too, including Jay and John and I. But it's a true family affair, and we all love it, and we wouldn't be anywhere else. It's great to do it together.
And Jay, I know you kind of touched on it in your last answer, but how cool has this been from a family perspective on your end of things?
It's words can't describe it. It's truly special. It's so fun that just I'm able to have all three of them be there at every single tournament, and so it's just super cool. Like mom walks with me every single tournament. John is always there to support me and give me a fist bump after I probably just made a double, but he's got a smile on his face and he's really happy, and so it's super cool. And then it's just really fun for the guys to just get to know my family, and then they love and pick on John, and John bosses them around every single day, and so it's a lot of fun. So just being with my family, all three of them, and then just connecting them with my golf family as well too is so special.
And Scott, I know you guys will be leaving here in a few days to the national tournament. What type of format? What's the plan once you get out to Nevada? How will things go from arrival to competition date?
We fly out on Saturday. The national championship in Division III men's golf is a 72-hole tournament. It's played on 2 different courses. We have a practice round on Sunday on one of the courses, and then a practice round on Tuesday on the other course. And then the actual tournament starts, Sunday and Monday. Actual tournament starts on Tuesday. First and second rounds are Tuesday and Wednesday. And there's 43 teams in the national championship from conference victories or what have you around the country. And then 18 teams make the cut Wednesday night to continue playing on the 3rd and 4th rounds Thursday and Friday. So our goal is always to make the cut. But it's really neat to have a 72-hole championship playing for the national title. And we're one of 43 teams there out of 294 colleges that played Division III golf.
And that's always a cool thing. And Jay, final question for you. I know you and I touched on this before we started the interview. Last 2 years, you were in Kentucky and Florida for the championships. Things get a little humid this time of year in those parts of the world. Humidity, not a thing in Nevada, but heat is a thing. How do you mentally prepare yourself to get ready for, I'm sure, what will not be a cool 4 days of golf?
Step one, drink a lot of water. I've got some really good advice from some former Luther golfers that they try to drink as much water as possible, try to drink at least a sip before every single shot. And so hopefully that's the goal for us. We just want to keep hydrated, but then also we're just grateful for the opportunity to be there. So we when we know that we have a chance and we have the skills to be able to make the cut, we just have to trust ourselves, not focus on anyone else in the tournament, and just focus on us and the current shot at time. So just drinking water and focus on us and trusting ourselves.
Well, Scott and Jay, you guys have definitely done Luther College proud. You've definitely done the community of Decorah proud. Congratulations on the success you've had and the great year you've had to this point. And hopefully it can be even that much greater when you head out to Nevada next week. Thanks for taking the time, and best of luck to you at the national meet.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Darren. We appreciate it, and we're very excited.
Scott Fjestul, head coach of the Luther men's golfers, and ARC MVP Jay Fjestul of the Luther College golf team. Monthly conversation with Decorah City Manager Travis Goedken. Quite a few things were discussed Monday night when the Decorah City Council met for the first meeting of the month of May. And let's just kind of go down the list in chronological order based on the agenda Monday night, Travis. Discussion was held regarding the use of city staff and resources to assist nonprofits with specific activities with a public purpose and benefit. How did that discussion go?
So, Darren, that resolution is what the city used to justify the use of public resources, both staff time and, in this particular example, North Alley. Right now, and what was approved on Monday night, the farmers market is able to utilize the corner of North Alley here at no charge. For other purposes that attorneys know of, we need to have a lease agreement with them that does establish certain things, and with that is a fee. But this resolution allows us to waive that. So that was the big topic of consideration for that item. We did also add, because a practice we have that was not listed in the resolution was anytime Decorah High School has a state champion, we do roll out the red carpet for them and have public safety vehicles escort them back into town. And so we added that as well.
All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda. This has been an issue that's been discussed for quite some time and will be discussed again. The council voted to move forward with the idea of holding a municipal electric utility special election next March. What is the process from here on out?
Yeah, so this resolution was truly meant to help myself guide what legal language we need to provide on yet another resolution that the council will have to consider and adopt to officially put forward a special election with that ballot language. Council did approve the resolution with a date of March 4th, 2025, which should be that first Tuesday of the month, because that's information I need to know on drafting that resolution. We did defer on whether this will have a utility board established, because that would also have to be a part of that resolution in the future. So that will be coming up yet. I would anticipate within the next month or so to formally place that on the ballot.
And is this a case, according to the new election laws in the state of Iowa, you can only have such a referendum on certain days of the year?
Yeah, it is somewhat tied to that, but dates have always been restricted on special election dates. The bond referendums are the big ones that recent legislature this year adopted, but there are only 3 dates in 2025, the first one being in March, and then the second 2 are waiting until September or November of 2025. And in even years, it's even less. There's only 2 dates that you can host a special election, and that is again March and September.
And again, based on what I remember from the 2018 such referendum that failed by 4 votes, this would be a vote to just authorize really the city to look into the possibility of this. It doesn't really say we're going to fully do it or not going to do it, correct?
That is correct. This measure that would be on the ballot is very similar to what we have for telecommunications utility here in Decorah. A lot of people don't, if you told them we had a municipal telco, they'd say, what are you talking about? How do I hook up? We don't have any infrastructure. We don't have any customers. We have no revenue and no employees. But on paper, we have a municipal telecommunications utility in order to achieve fiber to the premises. So this is that same first step on the electric side, where it would, if approved by the voters, it would create a municipal electric utility for the city of Decorah with, again, no assets, no employees, no revenues, no expenses. That would be the indication then from the community on pursuit further or not.
And you discussed a Water Street closure policy. I know this kind of stemmed from the discussion you had at the previous meeting regarding this weekend's Cops and Riders event. What did the council decide on this front?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Did have council members ask that this be placed on the agenda more as a conversation starter than anything. You're right, Darren. As a result of the discussion at the last meeting around Cops and Riders, council members hear from businesses downtown, both in support of and objecting to closures of Water Street for special events. And the discussion was meant to serve as what guidelines does council want to see when we consider that closure? So as originally drafted, it just said Nordic Fest only, period. That motion was tabled and will be discussed
All right, and another item that was on the agenda, a proposal for design services for a Carlson Park Trail Phase 1B. Where's that at?
Yes, so council did approve design services consulting, or excuse me, partnering with John Shuby Consulting, which also has a sub-consultant of land resource engineering out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. The course this takes, as opposed to previously where IMBA, the International Mountain Biking Association, was hired, this is going to be a cleaner, clearer path towards Iowa Code Chapter 26 public bidding construction requirements to get a fully compliant set of bid documents that we can put out and hopefully get more than one bidder at 75% over engineer's estimate on phase 1B.
All right, let's go to some ordinance work that the council worked on the other night. And a few of these were second readings of ordinances. One regarding yard waste disposal. What's up with that?
You know, for most residents, this isn't going to impact them at all. This yard waste disposal ordinance went back to what was previously required of our contractors. So our tree contractors used to be required to chip anything less than 8 inches in diameter. We did away with that. To be honest with you, it was done before my time, and I can't speak exactly to the rationale behind it, but it was thought that the site could handle just bringing in that brush, and then the city staff could handle it. Well, that has resulted in a few times we've had to burn the brush pile, and which, you know, I know many people don't care for. So this will help us maintain the site, because by chipping all that brush, it doesn't take up near the space as a wood chip, you know, wood chip pile.
Another ordinance discussion, the special events related to the municipal code. Where's that at?
So that did get third reading waived and adopted, which would allow for a special event permit application to include it can't only be 4, but could include food trucks. That was one major consideration, one major change in the ordinance. And it also sets that the fees will be established by resolution. This is a practice we've been doing unless state code prohibits that and requires that a fee be set by code. We've moved everything to resolution of the council. So that way, even adjusting of fees doesn't require 3 readings of an ordinance, just adoption of resolution. So at the next council meeting, we will have a resolution on there that will set those fees. And even then, council's had some discussion on whether that is a flat fee for the application, or maybe one that adjusts based on the needs, kind of an a la carte. You know, you need 17 barricades. That's a bit more expensive of a permit than if you're needing a closure that requires 4.
And what about the control of and licensing of dogs?
Everyone loves this topic, whether it's here in Decorah or any other small community here in Iowa. We love to talk about dogs. This ordinance, what it did was remove the component that our code read. If you had your dog at heel next to a competent person and obedient to the voice control, it was not considered at large. Well, Darren, I don't know when the last time you've walked some trails here in Decorah or even the sidewalk. And I'm not saying these are bad dogs by any means. I mean, but typically when they're at heel, they're not next to that person. They're off leash a ways. And so what this did was remove that component, but also added that they could be on an electronic leash as long as it's within the range of that device.
And third reading on that coming up at the next meeting, is that correct?
That it is, and that's council considered waiving the third and adopting. However, they did put pause to that because they have not heard much feedback of this ordinance and did want to hear some further feedback from constituents.
And what about liquor and intoxication?
So when we say it like that, it's not a free-for-all. Okay, so that's the code chapter title, liquor and intoxication. This change was to allow, the prime example is Nordic Fest does have the beer garden up on Water Street during that street closure, and that is actually prohibited by city code. So this ordinance would change that code section or sections, there's two of them, that it would be still prohibited. So don't be walking up and down Water Street with an open beer. That's a bad idea. That'll get you in trouble. Unless by resolution of the council. So, sorry about that. The thought being, again, Nordic Fest or even other special events that might be of interest, the council can weigh those and potentially approve that consumption of beer and wine on a closed street.
And what about the sign ordinance? Where are we at regarding that?
So council did approve a second reading of the ordinance that was in front of them. We did pose, staff did pose not waiving the third and adopting, because there was some language that we wanted to maybe wordsmith a bit further for council consideration as an alternative. And so by approving the second, at the next meeting, they will have the option to approve the third of what they had or approve the first reading of the alternative language that we're looking to put forward in front of them.
And I know you've held some discussion recently regarding the Board of Park Commissioners. I know we discussed it in our last conversation that Decorah is one of few cities that actually has an elected Parks and Recreation Board. Many people in communities are appointed to that board. Where is that discussion at as of this time?
At this time, conversation on Monday night was pretty brief. That an example of the process to go from an elected to an appointed board was spelled out, as well as a potential time frame. It was a little bit more involved than a typical just 3 readings of an ordinance. But before council wanted to move down any path, they wanted to have a joint work session with the park board. So that's been put on hold until that can be scheduled and posted.
All right, that's what covered the highlighters on my agenda for Monday night. Anything else you want to pass on, as long as you got the forum this morning?
Darren, I think we did a pretty good job of covering what did it amount to, a 3-hour council meeting the other night, or
it was close,
darn close. Yeah, so no, I think we did a pretty good job.
All right, Travis, appreciate the time as always, and look forward to talking to you in the month of June. Once again, thanks for always keeping us up to date on what's going on with the city.
Absolutely, Darren, anytime.
Travis Goedken, City Manager of Decorah. I want to thank our guest on the program, Bill Withers. He's part of Bandmates Brothers and Friends. They will be playing. The Toe Tappers will be playing. There will be food. There will be drink, and it all goes to the Veterans Memorial Foundation for healthcare improvements, and that'll take place tomorrow night at the Almaquee County Fairgrounds Pavilion. Be there. Should be a good time had by all. Best of luck to the Luther men's golfers. Best of luck to head coach Scott Fjestul and the senior from Decorah, who was the American Rivers Conference MVP in golf, Jay Fjestul, as they will head to Nevada next week for the NCAA Division III Golf Championships. The Luther going for the 3rd year in a row. And we also appreciate Decorah City Manager Travis Goedken catching up with us about everything going on in the city over the past month as well. We thank him for joining us as well. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube. We realize you're busy, can't always be near a smart speaker or a streaming device or a radio or anything. on a Thursday morning because you got things to do, but we feel we get to talk to interesting people from the community, and we want to bring these interviews to you on your schedule. Just go to YouTube 5-9 Our Town program. That's a great way to check it out. We also put the links up on all of our Facebook pages as well. Another way we do our best to stay in touch with the community here at LA Communications. Thank you to our guest, a Munga Tuck, to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. And we thank you, that's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.